Hello, this is TTV News broadcast on Tay Ninh radio and television station. Ladies and gentlemen, in the morning of August 29th, Mr. Võ Đức Trong, Standing Vice Chairman of Tay Ninh Provincial People's Committee and Deputy Commander of the Command Post for the COVID-19 Prevention and Control, inspected the second testing for SARS-CoV-2 in some localities in Chau Thanh district.
Mr. Võ Đức Trong recognized the efforts of medical staff and volunteers, especially the proper compliance with the sampling process, keeping safe distance, not gathering in large crowds, and strictly controlling the situation. The Standing Vice Chairman of Tay Ninh Provincial People's Committee directed authorities of localities, health workers and volunteers at sampling sites to guide and encourage people to take their own rapid samples, which would ensure the safety of the people and reduce pressure on health workers and volunteers. On the same day, Deputy Commander of the Command Post for COVID-19 Prevention and Control also visited, encouraged and presented gifts to the medical team and forces on duty to treat F0 cases and COVID-19 patients without symptoms at Chau Thanh Town Secondary School, Truong Tay Kindergarten and Cao Văn Chí Hospital.
Chau Thanh continued to take samples for the second screening test for SARS-CoV-2 in Truong Tay commune on August 29, 2021. Truong An hamlet of Truong Tay commune currently has 64 households of Khmer ethnic minorities with 345 inhabitants. The results of nearly 2,000 samples taken in the first screening test in Truong An hamlet are negative. Truong Tay commune hasn't detected any F0 cases in the locality. As for the second test, Truong Tay commune arranged 8 sampling locations based in hamlets. Boarding houses also selected 1 people per room, except for those who had been taken samples in the first test, where the collection of specimens would be conducted from each worker working for companies and factories. According to the plan, the second screening test for SARS-CoV-2 in Chau Thanh lasts for 5 days, starting from 26th of August 2021. The audience after the second testing for SARS-CoV-2 ends, Tay Ninh province focusing on expanding green zones, changing yellow zones, concentrating on stemming out the pandemic in orange and red zones, as well as avoiding new outbreaks. The province also tightening control of the borderlines and areas bordering Bình Dương, Long An, Bình Phước provinces and Ho Chi Minh City to establish a belt to protect the achievement in the fight against the pandemic.
The important role of the province is to prevent the pandemic from spreading, continue to strictly implementing social distancing under Directive number 16 to soon put the COVID-19 pandemic under control and getting back to normal life. In the last days of August, apart from implementing anti-epidemic measures, the province is also paying attention to social security work, quickly resolving policies to support people according to Resolution number 68 of the government. Secretary of Tay Ninh Provincial Party Committee Nguyễn Thành Tâm has directed localities to propose more policies to support people in addition to the central policies. From August onwards, districts, towns and Tay Ninh City will actively control the situation, strictly control the blockade areas, gradually restore socio-economic activities on the basis of ensuring the safety of epidemic prevention control, continue to effectively implement 5 principles of anti-epidemic, including prevention, detection, tracing, isolation, localizing and stamping out the pandemic. The goal is to strictly control the pandemic and prevent the outbreak of COVID-19 from recurring.
Tay Ninh Provincial Federation of Labor on August 27th announced that according to decision number 3089 dated August 24, 2021 of the Vietnam General Confederation of Labor, over 33 billion Vietnam dong will go to finance meal support for 33,000 trade unionist workers, implementing 3 on-the-spot options for enterprises that pay union funds across the province. Each trade union member and worker is supported 1 million Vietnam dong for only one time. The Labour Federation of District Towns Tay Ninh City and the Trade Union of Tay Ninh Provincial Economic Zone approved the grant of support to its grassroots trade union from their accumulated financial resources still being used at the time of grant and making sure that after granting the balance at the unit is at least 1 billion Vietnam dong. In case there aren't enough money to provide support, the unit should propose the Provincial Federation of Labour to provide more money so that the superior trade unions can provide sufficient funding for grassroots trade unions. Turn to other news. According to the roadmap for building a new rural commune, from now to 2023, Anchor Commune of the Thanh District must meet 19 criteria, but the commune so far has only met 14 criteria and faced difficulty in implementing the remaining 5 major ones.
The 5 criteria under the National Target Program on Building New Rural Areas that Anchor Commune has not achieved related to the field of transport, schools, health, income, and cultural facilities. In terms of traffic, there are 65 lane routes in Anchor Commune that have not been completed or paid. Cultural facilities are also criteria that have not been satisfied. The locality is necessary to keep up with investing in the construction of this project. The local school facilities are currently not up to national standards, even more degraded than a normal school. Meanwhile, the proportion of people participating in health insurance and the income of the locals in Anchor Commune is not under the provisions of a new rural commune.
Ladies and gentlemen, in the spirit of protecting and maintaining the green zones, quickly turn the orange area into a yellow area and a yellow area into a green area. Strictly localize, thoroughly handle the red zone to prevent the COVID-19 from spreading to other areas, in which the fact that people voluntarily and actively participate in the management of green zones is one of the effective solutions in the prevention and control of the COVID-19 pandemic. Our correspondent report from Chau Thanh. After the first screening test, NOOP World has established a safe green zone without COVID-19 cases. This is the most crowded area right in the center of Chau Thanh. Green zone protection posts are set up in high-traffic areas facing the market and main roads. In the early days of its establishment, the voluntary protection forces and militias had to work relatively hard. The people traveling through these blocking posts sometimes feel uncomfortable, but after being explained and specifically instructed, they understand that it's safe for them to do so. It was just difficult at the beginning. After being mobilized and propagated about the meaning of establishing green zones, the locals have quickly supported the management and protection of green areas. They have strictly complied with the requirements of not leaving the green zones, not in contact with other areas, especially the intersection area, and regularly encouraged and supported the force at the checkpoints. As a citizen, I find it very difficult for the government and public employees to limit the spread of the infectious disease. So our people have to comply with the regulations to protect the green zones. It will be very dangerous if it turns to another color. Seeing the forces are working hard day and night, the locals have given drinking water or sometimes coffee. We appreciate the people's heart. It will be motivation for us to be determined to protect the green zones. Meanwhile, the green zone protection posts of Thanh Bình B Ward are located at one end of small alleys. The control of people's movement is assigned to the self-governing team of the ward. The people have voluntarily joined in, taking turns guarding the checkpoints, merely not allowing people from the other areas to enter the green zone. Particularly, the people in Thanh Bình B Ward have voluntarily reminded each other not to leave the green zones until the social distancing is lifted. We are willing to participate in controlling the movement of people to prevent strangers from entering our neighborhood. It's our responsibility to the community to protect people in the green zones. The volunteers are very happy because the area is recognized as green zone. They actively follow the temporary guidance on the green zone, strictly controlled to protect the area from strangers. Chau is currently assessed as a high-risk area, also known as the orange zone, including 2 orange wards, 2 yellow wards, and 3 green wards. On August 29th, Chau was blocked for the second screening test for SARS-CoV-2. The people and authorities of the town are making efforts to turn orange and yellow areas into green areas after the blockade and social distancing period ends. Town still exists some orange and yellow areas. We directed the localities concerned to tighten control of regions, especially intersecting areas, to prevent the spread of the disease, to prepare for the second screening test for SARS-CoV-2, to separate absolute cases of community so that the locality can return to green zones. The cooperation, awareness, and high responsibility in epidemic prevention and control of each citizen in Town in particular and the people of the whole country in general are the most important factors determining the success of the fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. That's all for today's TTV News. Thanks for watching and see you next time.